Do you wish you knew exactly how to write a sales post to attract soulmate clients using the most powerful gifts from your astrology chart? Well, guess what? Now you can learn how for free. I'm going to share my cosmic copywriting secrets that have helped people to instantly turn strangers on the internet into buyers for their high-ticket offers. In my 5-part training series, Cosmic Attraction Copywriting, you'll learn the mindset switch that takes my clients from feeling confused about their content or not feeling fully safe to share their story online to making sales more easily and naturally than ever before, with the astrological placement that unlocks a new level of depth in your storytelling that builds trust 10 times faster with the clients who are genuinely a very aligned fit to work with you. Plus, the messaging tweaks that take my clients from attracting people who can't afford it to easy sales into 5-figure offers with no sales calls. And you'll get clarity on the 3 things your soulmate clients need to hear from you consistently in your message to feel confident and excited to buy your offer. You'll also get my writing process prompts to share your story in a powerful way that stands out to the right people and leads to ready to buy clients popping up into your DMs asking to work with you. Click the link in the description for instant access to Cosmic Attraction Copywriting. This is Sarah Mack and welcome to Creative Magic Club. Together, we'll discover inspirational stories of creative entrepreneurs living out their dreams, doing the work they are most passionate about, and building wealth in magical and fun ways. While building a 6-figure income as a writer and coach, helping other women to launch their dream businesses, I've connected with so many incredible people and seen it proven again and again that you can thrive financially doing whatever it is you are passionate about. I'm here to share life-changing strategies for mindset, making money, and reaching more people with your work in a business and life filled with creativity, freedom, and fun. Hi, Sarah Mack here, and welcome back to the Creative Magic Club podcast. We're going to continue doing a deep dive on uncovering and understanding our relationship with money so that we can make more and so that we can do it in the ways that we fucking want to. And a topic that has emerged this week that I want to dive into is the importance of understanding the deep and nuanced layers of overcoming imposter syndrome so that we can make more money. This is something that I think we're always going to experience in entrepreneurship, right? Because whenever we want growth, whenever we want to be somewhere different than where we are now, it's going to involve a level of getting really freaking uncomfortable, coming up against our perceptions of our identity. So we're in this continual death and rebirth process in our identity because that's the level that has to shift first before we start to see our external world results shift. You can't believe I'm not deserving of that, I'm not capable of that, and then go and take the actions to create the thing. We first have to create that shift on the inside. And I went to the Living Brave event with Shoshana Raven last week in Denver, and I got to see Amanda Francis on stage, who has been a huge influence on my life and my work, not because I directly worked with her, because I worked with a lot of her clients, which I then later discovered, a lot of the things that had been life-changing for them that they had passed on to me, they had actually got through Amanda Francis's work with belief and faith and shifting to a more empowered relationship with money, which is really her zone of genius. She really brought this conversation and the tools to shift our mindset and relationship with money that actually has become the foundation of all of the results that I created in my business and that I have helped clients with. And I actually bumped into her at the airport on the flight home, and I couldn't not tell her how cool it was that her clients had helped me make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I had helped my clients make hundreds of thousands of dollars And I didn't even freaking work with her. I did one of her bundles, but I was like, I hope that happens to me someday. And how cool is that, right? To know that our work is having ripple effects. And this really ties in to the conversation that I'm always having with clients, which is, what is our highest value offer? Right? Like, what is our highest value contribution? What is the biggest impact that we're actually capable of making on the people in our community right now? Because that's where we want to focus on. Because not only will that help us accelerate our business and create more financial success for us, but it will have the biggest ripple effect on our community. It'll create the biggest impact. And I feel like these are words that are thrown around a lot to the extent that they kind of lose their meaning. But when you think about it in these micro moments like this, like, holy shit, this woman's work has made hundreds of thousands of dollars for people and touched lives that she never even knew about. Like, that's really fucking cool, right? I think so often as entrepreneurs, we're just in our little bubble at home, on our laptop, on our phone, creating content, sharing conversations that we think are important. And I've had a week of just having a lot of conversations with a lot of people. I just did my in-person event in Venice, here in LA, having conversations with friends. And, you know, we often find ourselves sharing these repetitive sound bites. And so when we catch ourselves repeating ourselves, that's when we know we've landed on our message, right? That's when you know that what you're talking about is really important and it has the potential to impact people, because you wouldn't feel like sharing it if you didn't. So one of those conversations that has been coming up, and this comes from a quote actually from Amanda when she was on stage, which I loved, which is, new level, same fucking devil. You know, you hear people say new level, new devil. Like, the higher the level you reach, it'll just come with its own set of problems. But she was like, no, it's the same things. And I agree with her, particularly when it comes to making money as women, as creators, or as minority identities. It always comes back to the worth conversation. And this is what I mean by imposter syndrome, right? It's that little internal narrative of, oh, but I'm not good enough. Or what if I'm not good enough? Or isn't working because there's something wrong with me, right? So I want to bring attention to this narrative, this complete and utter total bullshit, distractory, waste of time narrative that gets in the way, and to just remind us all, to remind that little voice inside of us that this is cultural conditioning. We grow up with this, right? We grow up with this when we live in a world that continuously does not reflect back to us the things that we value, right? Oh, you better get a proper job. Oh, you better not pursue your creativity. Oh, what you have to say is weird. No one understands you. Or this isn't peer-reviewed, science-backed, and therefore holds absolutely no value or prestige in our culture. You don't deserve to be paid money for things that you enjoy. Money is the root of all evil, right? Like, whatever narratives are rattling around internally that have told us that what we value and what we desire is wrong, not good enough, not acceptable, or not possible. So, in continually having to navigate through these narratives, which are absolutely unique to our socioeconomic background, gender, culture, you know, any type of identity that falls outside of the dominant. And especially as women, our number one favorite narrative to opt into is what's wrong with me, right? Like, historically, any emotional situation assigned to a woman was labeled as hysteria, right? So in a culture that hasn't taken seriously our feelings, our values, our desires, and really a lot of our basic needs for just being and existing, let alone thriving. So I want to just take a little moment for a PSA. That voice in your head, it's not yours. The voice in your head that's asking, what's wrong with me? That's suggesting that you don't have what you want yet because of something that you've done, not your voice. And it's not a freaking helpful voice. The other voice that creeps in, that's kind of the, you know, the next breath from the what's wrong with me conversation, is the comparison, right? Like, we're continually caught in a comparison loop, especially when we're online, especially, you know, I think this starts in school, right? Where we're like, I'm afraid of judgment. I want to keep myself safe. So I'm going to compare myself to other people and try to eliminate reasons for people to judge me. And that's just a survival mechanism. And then once we step into entrepreneurship, that can play out as, our brain will select these stories to fit that into the what's wrong with me narrative to make it make sense, right? The reason I don't have my results yet is because I'm not this or that. So for me, a big one that used to hold me back for a long time was comparing myself to other mentors who did really similar work to me. And I would think, well, why would they hire me when they could just hire them, right? And then we look at Amanda Frances, for example. When I first discovered her and I realized that my mentors were working with her, she did not resonate with me. Like her voice, her personality, the way that she delivered her work didn't resonate with me. And I've seen this with mentors that I have hired as well. Like I discovered them several years prior, came across some of their content, was like, okay, like not resonating. And then a couple of years down the line, suddenly they resonate. And I can see the shift in their personality, in their evolution, in their growth, in their communication, in their message, in their offers, in their brand, right? So this, like having this hindsight, it shows me that there is the right person at the right time. And even if someone's teaching close to the exact same lessons and education and program that you might be offering your clients to solve their problem, the reason why people hire you is because of what the things that make you you. And that resonance that is there, that is not there with other people who are doing similar things. So this is so important to remember when we fall into that comparison, right? Like, oh, well, why should I host retreats when all of these other cool people are already hosting retreats? Why should I launch a program on messaging when there's 10 million other people who have programs on messaging, right? That was a really big one for me until I learned that lesson. And until I just, did the mindset work and committed to taking the action, that led to the results. And I had to make it work, right? You don't go to the store and are like, I can't believe all of these brands are making rice. You're like, okay, which brand of rice am I going to pick? Like, I don't care how many there are. That makes no difference to me. Obviously, yeah, that just gives me more to choose from. And I'm going to choose the one that resonates with me. It's not a valid reason to not do what you want to do because other people are already doing it. And just knowing that visibility fear is real, and that's tied into the woman conditioning because we have all felt a lack of safety in our life, right? You've all felt, maybe I shouldn't walk down this dark street by myself at night. I'm getting in a cab with a strange driver. These are all very real and legitimate potential threats to our safety. And so when you live like that, your system is continually working to create more safety for you. And becoming more visible, it is and can be a threat to our sense of emotional security, even if these people are behind a screen, right? The Cosmic Copy Mastermind is the place to get the support that will bring your dream of becoming a six-figure creative to life in 2025 by selling your high-ticket offers with sales copy driven by stories and guided by astrology. Your goal is to fill your high-ticket offer with dreamy soul clients. But right now, you're wondering what exactly needs to shift in your content to start seeing consistent sales month after month, right? You're posting consistently, and maybe you're even getting great engagement, but you can't quite figure out why people aren't lining up to buy your life-changing offer. You know your work is incredible. Maybe you're even getting a ton of referral clients, but when it comes to putting your unique magic into words that clearly paint the picture of what it's actually like to work with you, it feels complicated. Or maybe you keep getting in your head about your high-ticket prices and thinking that that's the problem. Well, let me tell you, it's not your price. You're not alone in this. It's not easy to put your magic into clear copy that converts when you try to do it alone. I've made multiple six figures in my business and I've written copy for more than 1,000 entrepreneurs, and I continually invest in mentorship around messaging. Why? Because it makes it easier to consistently create content that leads to sales every month. That's why I created this mastermind, where we'll use your astrology chart to remind you of your unique genius, gifts, and personal story, using personalized prompts with my hands-on support and edits to translate all your magic into content that's building your six-figure brand in a way that feels authentic, aligned, and so much fun. This is my magic, helping you to attract deeply compatible clients through authentic storytelling driven by your unique astrology, and doing it in an inspiring community of other creative entrepreneurs making big moves, living life to the full, and building your version of a six-figure dream business. Message me the word mastermind on Instagram at SarahMacMagic for the full details. So just acknowledging that all of these things are going on behind the surface. Like, it can take 15 minutes to put up a social media post, but we're working against centuries of deep survival programming that doesn't feel safe when we show up and when we allow more people to see us. So this is a big conversation, right? And I think it's so important to be having on a regular basis to just remind ourselves that part of ourselves that is in resistance. This is where that resistance comes from. And that part of us is the part that we need to be doing that daily work and self-nurturing and support to make it feel easier and safer and more accessible for us to make the moves that lead to us getting paid in the ways that we want to get paid. And this is why astrology is so powerful in business, because it can help us to identify what are the challenges that we are currently being served. What are those lifetime, I don't want to say weaknesses, but yeah, challenges. What are those lifetime growth lessons that we are being invited into? You know, Chiron is one of my favorite parts to look at because the things that have been the hardest for us bring us the most gold, the most hard-earned wisdom. And so understanding those parts of our chart, like our Chiron placement, can really help us to build confidence in going to look at those places where we have felt not good enough, or we felt really insecure, because those are the parts of us that our survival mechanisms are working overtime to protect. So when I really understood my Chiron, which is in Gemini, the wound of words, of not being understood, of being overlooked, of feeling invisible or isolated or criticized or judged, which has shown up in so many different iterations in my life. When I finally got to see that as like, oh, this is just my challenge, this is my growth lesson, and to understand how to connect those threads to what makes me so powerful to be able to help others move through this, because I've been through it, because I'm still working through layers and layers of that every damn day, right? Like, your Chiron just doesn't, it's not something that completes. There's going to be other layers, but the more we accept those growth lessons, the faster we build that strength to overcome bigger and bigger ones, which gives us more and more power and prevents those things that create a sense of insecurity to hold us back from getting what it is that we want. So this is a really powerful placement to be actively working to dive into and to shift and to embody when it comes to making money, especially in growing an online brand. So if you do want to identify your specific patterns around Chiron and go deeper into that and looking at how to apply that to your brand storytelling and your offer positioning and the way that you're making money in your business, click the link in my bio to get instant access to the How to Raise Your Prices Using Astrology to Sell High Ticket, my new mini course, which is so freaking dope. I'm so excited for you to get your hands on it. So the other thing that's been coming up is thinking about money as a relationship. And what are our relationships? They're our mirrors, right? Like, our families trigger the heck out of us because they reflect back to us the things that we haven't accepted within ourselves. And money is a relationship that we are in every single day, whether you're in avoidance or whether you've got your hands in and it's triggering the hell out of you, or whether you're actively working to nourish it and to nurture it and to shift the things that don't feel good and work on your side of the street so that you are in a harmonious reciprocal relationship with money. So just like your partner, your lover, your best friends, your closest family members, it's not going to be a good relationship if you don't show up for it. And what creates the best kind of relationship is high quality communication. And so how do we communicate to the best that we can? I've just had my Saturn transiting my 7th house. So I've been getting my communication lessons in my marriage. Saturn has been in Pisces over the last 2 years-ish. Wherever Pisces falls in your chart, no doubt you have also been getting some lessons. If it's been in the 7th house, you've been in the same boat with me. And, you know, in working to elevate communication with my partner, the lessons that we've been getting have been challenges, right? Where are our communication gaps? How are we different? How do we learn to understand and appreciate each other's differences? And what are the bridges, the communication bridges that allow us to connect, even when we're different, even when we want different things, even when there's a conflict or a lack of harmony? And so thinking about that in our relationship with money, like what is the communication that we're having internally when it comes to the money conversation? When it comes to our business, when it comes to our client relationships, when it comes to our belief in our skills and our abilities. And this is such an important message that I just cannot repeat enough. You can apply your creativity to your relationship with money. So you are a creative genius, right? You have so many ideas. You have so many visions. You can pull something out of nothing, whether that's an incredible meal, whether that is birthing a child, whether that is pulling together an incredible outfit, an insane offer, a life-changing conversation, a philosophical concept, a community event. Like, you are capable of so much powerful manifestation. You can do that same thing with money. So what is the conversation that you're having with yourself about yourself and your capability, about what's possible in your industry in alignment with your vision and your desires? Where are you negotiating yourself out of what you really want? Where are you settling? Where do you not believe that what you want is actually possible right now? And one of the ways in which we can understand ourselves best, particularly in our relationship with money and what our needs are and how we show up at our best, and, you know, what is going to lay the foundation for a harmonious and a successful conversation that's going to lead to feel-good outcomes, that is our Venus placement. So you can tell from where your Venus is how you show up as your best in your relationship with money. So with my Venus in Cancer, it has to feel good. It has to not be about the hustle, but yet, you know, Cancer represents the mother. So that strong mothering energy of like, no fucks given, like, I'm going to protect you. I'm going to do what needs to be done. I'm going to make you the priority. I'm going to treat you like family, but I'm going to nurture you with the power that I have, with the utmost power that I have, but in a way that protects you and keeps you safe. And that is my like energy code around money. And that's why clients come to me and not like Gary Vee, you know, or people who are like hustle and push and sacrifice. I'm not saying that that's how Gary Vee runs his business, but it's definitely a different vibe, right? Like, post 5 times a day, build a giant empire. So understanding what our energy signature is in our relationship with money, our Venus can give us so much information about that. And again, you can go deeper in your own patterns in your Venus placement with specific prompts in my course, How to Raise Your Prices and Sell a High Ticket Offer Using Astrology. The link is in the description. So, okay, let's say we've cleared all that like bullshit imposter syndrome narrative and we are having more elevated, nuanced conversations in our relationship with money, in our self-belief, in what we believe is possible, giving ourselves permission to do it in our own unique way and not trying to force ourselves to be like somebody else. So if we're not obsessing over what's hard, why we're not good enough, what the problem is, what the gap is, why we're not as good as this person and that person, once we've cleared out all that noise, what conversation are we having? And this is the thing that unlocked my ability to sell high ticket and to bring in multiple 5-figure launches and months and 6-figure years. is if when we're not talking about what's wrong, why we're not good enough, what are we talking about? We're talking about how bloody amazing we are. We're talking about our strengths and gifts, and we're obsessively talking about what we have to offer, right? And considering in entrepreneurship, we're bombarded with so much marketing about the gap, right? About what's wrong and how to close the gap. You need this, you need that. This is your problem. This is why you're not getting the results. This is why you're not working. So this is why we have to be doing that continual brainwashing every day. Positive mindset, focus on what we want, obsessing over our strengths and our gifts, leaning into what we know we're good at, what we know we desire, and giving ourselves full permission to believe that that's possible. This is how we create the magic. We create more opportunities to serve and to receive money in return for that when we obsess over it. That is what got me to 6 figures in my business, is really obsessing in this way, in these thought patterns, and creating these new neural pathways. Because who cares what anyone else is doing when you're obsessed about how you can help the client that's in front of you right now? And a really powerful placement for us to tap into is our midheaven. That is our brand. That is our long-term strategy over tactics. Because yes, you can make quick wins. You can create cash injections. You can do all the strategies and you can get to a certain level of impact and success and results. But that is not going to be the long-term, satisfying, fulfilling, and sustainable legacy that you are here to build. So really understanding our midheaven placement and strategically building the stories that we tell, the way we show up, how we build relationships around our work through the lens of our midheaven, that is the key to long-term sustainable success. That's going to feel amazing. So if this conversation is resonating with you and you know that you are all in on filling your high ticket offer this year, you're ready to make that your priority, to start signing 5K, 10K plus clients into an offer that you're completely obsessed with the work, so excited and driven by the impact that you know you can make on your community, and you're willing to believe that that is possible for you now, and you're excited about really understanding and embodying your astrology chart to translate that into an online business strategy, to finally find the words and the message and create the content that captures your magic so you can confidently raise your prices and attract dream clients, and find the messaging that feels like you and sells like crazy. That is exactly the work we do inside the Cosmic Copy Mastermind, where we are going to build out your high ticket offer, your positioning, and a sustainable content strategy that fills your offer, and really positioning you as the best of the best at what you're genuinely good at. And we can find all of that information out in your chart. And that is my zone of genius, is translating that into your content. So you naturally have that confidence because you are so connected to what you're truly fucking good at, not thinking about what other people are doing, not looking for all the reasons why you're not good enough and it hasn't worked yet and you can't have it now. I'm really coming at it with that support, with the systems to build the mindset, the brand, the offer, the content that makes it so much freaking easier for you to be signing 5 and 10K clients, hitting those income goals, and having so much fun and freedom in your life outside of your business as well as in your business. That is the reality that I've been living since I started my business in 2017. This is my zone of genius. I cannot wait to support you in this. So you know where to find me if you have questions, on Instagram at SarahMacMagic, or you can go into the description and click the link to apply to the Cosmic Copy Mastermind. I hope you loved this episode. Please leave a review on iTunes if you haven't already. It really supports the show. Let me know what came up for you. Send me a message on Instagram. How did this land? I can't wait to hear about it. I'm sending you so much love. Have an amazing rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.